another reason why you make 8, 10 passes at the most is by the time you get to the end, the polish starts to lose its effectiveness, because you've broken it down. So that's why I'm doing 2, rather than just making 16 passes, I'm doing 8 and then going over it again, because the polish kind of stops working after a little while. Lesson. I just had the radio on and kicked me out. All right, so we compounded the car. So we did 2 passes of M105. So actually 8 passes, but 2 different 8 section passes, however you want to say that. So now we're gonna, we've determined that the SF4500 is going to be the good, the good finishing. So this again, 5, 6 passes, and we're not gonna notice a huge difference after this. It's just gonna make it shine. It's like that little difference in shine between, when you're out in the sun and you look at the car, just make it pop a little bit more. So after that, then we'll get I don't know what we'll do, but we'll blow it off and then use the CarPro eraser, and then we'll put sealant. We'll open the hood and get all the polish out. And then we'll do a sealant. The sealant and wax will take us 10 minutes, to do. So this shouldn't be too bad. This will be a lot less time than the other. That's about what you need. And this you can butter too if you want. I'll start over here since I'm with the longer cord. So you see how much cleaner this Menzerna polish is. So much better than McGuire's, I think.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So I leaves nothing. Now, granted, this is a much less aggressive polish too. Yep, that's what it's all about right there, man. Dialed in. We haven't even put the wax on it yet. So you can do a little bit bigger sections with the foam too, you know. Just a little easier to. Yeah, slow it down. Go slower. Otherwise, it just doesn't do anything. Yeah, it's a metallic and a pearl, which means that if I ever have a problem, they'll never be able to match it. It'd be impossible. So if I crash it, it's going, you know, I'm not keeping it. If I get a scratch, it's gone. So we're spraying Carpro Pearl, Carpro Eraser on here. I was telling Bob here, for the guys on the camera, that normally we would just take this out and wash it, but it's too sunny. So I'm just gonna spray a little more eraser on here and we'll wipe it down and get the polish residue off. We're gonna get Pink Floyd copyrighted here. I'll have to cut that part of the video out. Oh yeah. We're doing, because there's so much sun outside, we're not able to take this black car out there and wash it. So we're just doing eraser, using Carpro Eraser. You could use isopropyl alcohol too. So what you do is do like IPA from like, you know, Walgreens and make it like a 20% mixture with water. And it works this stuff works a little bit better. And this is where we want to be extremely careful with, you know, we don't want to buff this out because there's nothing protecting the paint now. We just want to get a nice clean surface for the sealant that we're going to put on. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a sealant topped with a wax.
What's it called?
It's a sealant topped with a wax. So in the world of last steps, or what they call LSP, you know, so last step protectant, last step product, whatever you want to call it. So you know, we did the polish, so we did a compound, we did a two-step correction. We did the compound, then we did the finishing polish with the foam, and now we're doing a wipe down in preparation for the last step. And this last step is actually going to be a two-step last step. So what we're going to do is we're going to lay a polymer or synthetic sealant on the car, and then we're going to top that with, well, Colonite is questionable whether it's a sealant or a wax, but let's just say it's a wax. So there's three types of protectants you can put as a last step. One would be good old traditional wax, you know, like carnauba wax or paste wax or some sort of some sort of wax in general. You could use some sort of synthetic or a carnauba, which is from the Brazilian palm tree or whatever. The other type is a sealant, which is like a polymer or like a chemically based compound. The difference between wax and sealants, waxes give you a little more depth and shine. They tend not to last quite as long. A sealant will give you a little bit more, usually a little more water beading capability, but it doesn't, usually won't give you the same sort of depth and look. A lot of people on this black would prefer to use something like Blackfire Wet Diamond Sealant. I don't have that, so we're going to use what we're going to do is use both a sealant and a wax. So the sealant will hopefully keep a layer of protection on the paint, and then the wax will add the depth. It's a pretty cheap combo. I'll show you in a minute here. I actually have a $220 jar of wax, but I like the $12 stuff that I have much better. So I'll show you that in a second. The third type of last step would be a coating. A coating is something like this here, this OptiCoat. Coatings are much more permanent, much longer lasting solutions. So believe it or not, this little, 5 cc's, we could probably do your whole car with that.
Oh, right.
Or close to it. But this, you'd put like 2 drops on a little sponge and you just kind of work it in. The advantage of this is that this bonds with the clear coat of the paint and will never come off. The disadvantage is you don't get the depth and shine and clarity that you do with a wax. So if I'm a detailer and I'm trying to sell you on my product, then I would probably say, hey, let's use a coating. A coating's going to last you for the life of your car. So you pay me $1,500 to do it, $2,000 to correct the paint, put the coating on. Now you can really perceive some value. As long as you wash it properly, you won't mess it up. The problem is it doesn't look as good. But the disadvantage of a wax is 6 months from now, 8 months from now, probably your car 8 months from now, you would have to do it again. 8, 9 months, you're going to have to go and you're going to have to do that one-step correction with the 4500, SF4500, and then wax it again. But that's part of the fun, I think. So the wax looks better, protects, maybe not quite as good, doesn't last as long, but it gives you the look that you're hoping for. So look how much shine we have now. We haven't even put any protectant on it. So we're going to do that by hand. You can do it with a machine. It's like a last bonding moment with the car. Is we just put the sealant and the wax on by hand, and then we're done. So normally what I would do is I'd put the sealant on. You wait just a little bit. Technically, you should probably wait 2 or 3 hours for the sealant to cure and then put the wax on top of it. I've never had a problem. We'll put the sealant on, put the wax on right on top of it. And then traditionally, you want to let the wax sit overnight and then put another coat on if you want to layer it. If you want to layer the wax, then you want to let it cure so that way it'll bond to itself. So you let it cure for 8, 10, 12 hours. So normally when I'm doing it, I'll try to be putting a coat of wax on at the end of the day, at the end of the evening when I'm done with my correction. Let's say I'll start at 9 and end at 7 p.m. and then the next morning I'll get up and just put my last coat of wax on. But man, this certainly looks good.
Yeah.
Looks really good. So let's put the sealant. Oh, freaking love bug. So let's put the sealant on, and I'll show you how to do that. Actually, we'll leave the camera running. So this is, I love this combo. Let's turn this camera up so we can see what we're talking about here. So this is the combo we're going to use. So this is Menzerna Power Lock. This is you can see it's real liquidy. This is a polymer sealant. So this is a chemical compound. You're going to love how this stuff goes on. It goes on, it dries to a haze, and it wipes off, and you'll see. You're going to see in a minute. It's like magic. This stuff can be used by itself, but it doesn't last very long, maybe 2-3 months. So what I like to do is top it with this. So this is, I think, $14, $15. Maybe it's gone up to $16. This is called Colonite 845. This is a wax. Nobody really knows what it is. It's sort of some sort of hybrid wax sealant. Notice it's kind of, it's semi-thick, so you just have to shake it up. I've had this for 6 years. I use that much of it.
See, it says insulator wax.
Yep. So it's designed for boats, marine applications. This is like one of the go-to, pro detailer products for years. And you'll see, it's what's on my GT3. And you get that depth and clarity and shine.
Actually, believe it or not, I used this on insulators
Yeah.
years ago in a paste.
I bet you did.
I had to clean it and wax it with when I was an apprentice.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Oh, okay.
So you'll see how good this stuff works on the car.
It wasn't a liquid, it was a paste.
Yeah, they have like there's Colinite 915 and 945 and 985. So there's different compounds. This is this is sort of the old go-to standby high-end wax. I'll show you or cheap high-end wax, if you will. And what I was doing was testing. My fancy stuff. This is Auto Finesse Desire. Little job. This is like 200 bucks, right? And smell. This is like the greatest smell in the world.
Wow.
It smells the whole garage, but it doesn't work as well as that. Doesn't bead water as well. Doesn't last as long. Doesn't give me the same depth. Doesn't give me the same color. It's really, really nice, but that is better.
Yeah, how about that?
And because what I had is I had the M3 and I tested it, and I've compared the two. I've also had some other more expensive waxes than this. I've had some really high-end stuff, some Swiss wax. Concorso is like 330 bucks for a little tub like that. I've had that. I keep coming back to the Colinite. I've used coatings. I've used C-Quartz. I've used OptiCoat. I've used just about it. Maybe not everything. P21S is a great, paste wax, a carnauba wax. I've tried all this different stuff, and I keep coming back to the Colinite because it just works. This combo, for whatever reason, they tend to bond well together. All right, so let's put it on the car.
So you put the sealant on first and then the wax, or the other way around?
Yep, seal it first. And you don't need a ton. Just notice there's some on there. This stuff won't wash off. It doesn't come off. It repels water. So you need about that much.
Okay.
And then just put it on in circles.
Circles too, huh?
Yep. All right, it really doesn't matter.
Oh.
I like circles better, but because the paint is totally clean and we don't have any contaminants and we got a nice clean, applicator, whatever this thing's called, we shouldn't have any issues.
Or you do 2 foot at a time? Can you do?
No, we can blast out the whole front of the car here. You might have to put a little bit more on one time. The other thing to keep in mind, like when you're putting the polish on, we're not putting a coat of polish on the car. We're actually using the polish as a mechanism or as a tool to correct the paint. Whereas this, we're actually putting a coat on the paint. We want to get a solid coat or layer on here. So a lot of people think of polish like you do wax, where you just want to apply it to the paint and get it on there and wipe it off. But what you want to do is you want to work that polish in. So that's why I'm always telling you, slow down, slow down, slow down.
Okay.
Because otherwise, like with this, if you can put it on faster, more power to you. The faster, the better. You can throw this on by machine as well. But with a polish, the idea is to use it as a tool to get the scratches out of the paint. This is by far my favorite part. I think I said it about polishing too, didn't I? Polishing's fun for the first 15 minutes, and then after that, you're like, all right, let's roll. When we wipe this stuff off, and you drop the towel on here, yeah. And then when we apply the Colinite here in a few minutes, there's like a static electricity. The other thing you're going to want to do with a Colinite, when you take the car out in the sun, it's going to sweat. It's going to it's going to look super clean, super nice, and then you're going to wake up tomorrow and look at the car and be like, oh my gosh, what happened to my paint? It's going to look hazed.
Really?
Yeah. Because this hot Florida sun will pull out, especially on the black, it almost sort of, there's like an extra layer that sort of sweats out of the paint that you just have to wipe off.
And that's a one-time thing?
Yep. What I usually do is just wash it, wash the car. And after that first wash, then you're pretty good. I'm not sure on black. You might have to do it a couple times. It's worth it though. Yeah, the only way you're getting that clean is you wash it out. Emblem.
Yeah, good. Yeah, when the license plate they can take off. License plate cover.
All part of the detail, you know. You want corrected paint, but that means it creates a whole nother job for you. Cleaning out all the cracks and crevices.
Yeah.
And you can put this right on the lights too. All right. So usually let that sit for 5 minutes and then we'll wipe it off. All right, so we got the sealant on the car. Now it's time to remove it. And this is like magic. This stuff comes off so easily. It's like the best stuff ever.
It's easy.
Yeah. The wax is a little harder to get off, but it's still easy too. And then just feel that. It's like heaven.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite things on this earth. Freshly sealed.
Black car run out. Detail the car.
Yeah, you're gonna want to go finish the whole thing now. But now you know what, as you're watching the videos, you kind of know the polishing is the part that scares people. Now you know how easy that is, and that's the hardest part. So then you can watch the videos or ask me questions, and there's about 500 other products you need to learn about now. I mean, shoot, there's probably 500 that I need to learn about still. People are always making suggestions to me, oh, you got to try this, you got to try that. And then I end up trying it and sometimes don't like it, sometimes do. Like these microfiber towels took me forever to get to this spot where I found the towels that I like.
Yeah, these are nice. And these came from, again?
These are from Detailer's Domain. It's like 30 bucks for 10 of them.
Really? That's it?
Yeah.
That's cheap.
Yeah, it's not bad. These are actually from a company called Microfiber Tech, and Phil at Detailer's Domain buys a boatload of them, and then he sells them at a reasonable price in bulk. So you figure if you get them at 10% off of 30 or 35 bucks, you're $2 at $2.50 at $2.75 a towel. Yeah.
I paid more than that when I bought them at the store.
It's incredible. Not bad for 15-year-old paint, huh?
Yeah.
So now we're putting the Colonite 845 on. Use this sparingly. The more you put on, the harder it is to get off. Putting a thicker coat doesn't leave a thicker coat on the paint, just like any wax.
A lot of wheel on it. I can feel it on my finger. If I remember right, I used this on my '75 Corvette.
Yeah. This stuff has been around for.
But it was like I said, it was I don't think any of it was liquid, if I remember.
Yeah.
And I was in
see, in '87 I was in second grade.
I started there and I started my apprenticeship. I guess about 81 or 82.
Yeah, that's when I was in diapers. See, that's the cool thing about cars. It's just like the great uniter. You know, it doesn't matter what age you are, you can relate. At least I think. I mean, I love them. Just hanging out in the garage and actually making the videos makes it a little less fun because normally I'm watching like a TV show or like a season on Netflix or something, or I'm listening to music or something.
I think to tell people they relax, when they go out in the garage and wax the car, people say, how much time do you spend on your cars? Well, I spend a lot of time. A lot. Relax.
Yeah.
Then I know people that never wax their cars, they just wash it and put detail on it.
Yeah.
And they think that's enough. I don't think so. A friend that left this morning, he has, I can see in his case a little bit because his front, he has the clear bra
Yeah.
on it. And, and it was a lifesaver on his trip with the bugs and the nicks and but
I don't like clear bras because I like the look of natural paint better. But it's if you're not going to do what we just did, you're not going to go through that extra effort. And a clear bra is a smarter thing to get.
I don't think I would have gotten these nicks if I had that.
Yeah. Well, then you'd have the nicks in the clear bra,
Yeah.
and then you remove it. So if you intend to keep the car for the rest of your life, then it's great. With my past history with cars thus far, it'd be a waste of money for me. And I'm just protecting it for the next guy. Much as I like the next guy, I like myself better.
I've had this 10 years, and I
like I said, they just want to trade it in.
let's see.
She likes the new orange.
All right, so we'll let this sit for 5-10 minutes, and then we'll wipe it off, and then that's the last step.
Yeah.
Is it like like a lot of places they'll all use all Sonax, or they'll all use all one specific thing, one specific company, and there's no way that one company makes the best at everything,
No, I don't think so.
So I think where the niche is that I'm going to carry a very specific line of what I think is the best. And that will evolve as new stuff comes out or I become aware of stuff that I didn't know about. See, this stuff comes off pretty easily too. And we can take these off now.
When I was taking it off, I was 25 feet in the air sitting up on a metal rack doing insulator.
I have a substation.
Yeah, I don't do heights.
Well, when I was in Prentice, I did a tour with this guy. He could only work outside because of the drums. That's when I worked in fiberglass. And I did 2 stints with him during my 4-year apprenticeship. And from the time we were polishing insulators and cleaning.
All right. So let's recap what we did. So we washed the car. Then normally what you would do again is you would wash it with a heftier soap, but because we didn't want to take the wax off the whole car because we were only going to do the front end here, then we normally would strip the paint, then we would iron out, then we would bring the car in, then we would auto scrub it, then we would obviously dry it, tape off some of the sections, tape off like the emblems and things like that. And then what we would do is polish. So in this, we had to do, I guess you could say, a 3-step. So we had to do the compound twice. So we did the M105, M105 with the microfiber, and then we did the SF 4500, this super finished 4500 on the Manzurna. And notice the difference. The reason why I love Manzurna so much is the Maguire's is all dusty. There's dust everywhere, and the Manzurna's just clean. You know, it just dusts a lot less. But we needed to use the Maguire's because I needed something really aggressive to get some of the stuff out. So now you can see my reflection in the paint on the camera here. This is a 15-year-old car.
Yep.
15-year-old paint.
2000.
Now there's going to be some rock chips, and I mean that's inevitable. But we have one coat of Manzurna Power Lock, one coat of Colonite 845, and it is dialed in. I mean, it is
Like
smooth as
glass.
glass. Yeah. So, I would say we got 95% of the imperfections out. 90 something percent. There's still, I mean, at 15-year-old paint, what I didn't want to do is sit there just grinding away. I mean, we could have done 4 or 5 different passes of the M105, but there's just too much risk there. Last thing we want is that 2 weeks from now you go out in the sun and you see a big haze mark because we blew through the clear coat. Once the clear coat's gone, it's over. So you want to find that happy medium of making it look really good, but not damaging the paint. So I think what we did made sense, and it looks great.
Yeah.
Super shiny.
Looks good.
Oh yeah, you can really see that. Look at that. Here, I'll stand there so you can see.
Oh, wow.
That is a good idea. I need to do that more often. Yeah, that's cool.